surprising. Should you pursue a career in art, game development, or VFX and animation? It feels kind of like a waste of time, right? It looks pretty doom and gloom. Now, I can't predict the future, but we can look at the past. Perhaps it'll give us some insight. We actually had a similar disruption not too long ago in the field of art. It was the advent of Photoshop. When Photoshop was introduced in the 90s, it felt like a meteor storm had rushed into the art scene. It sparked fears that digital tools can now replace traditional art. It'll devastate the industry. Automation features like Control Z, along with photo manipulation, layer duplication, all felt really unfair to the traditional artists. It allowed art to create much faster, and traditional artists felt like they couldn't compete. It led to concerns that the job market for artists would decline. Now, we all know what happened. Did the creative industry suffer? No, the opposite happened. It flourished. In the UK, employment in creative industries grew by 30.6% from 2011 to 2018, compared to a 10.1% overall employment growth. Globally, the value of creative goods more than doubled from 2002 to 2015. This is echoed not just in the UK, but globally. Art expanded. You know the whole starving artist meme? It was no longer a thing. Well, to Asian households, it's still very much a thing. But there were more and more employed artists, and art became a very respectable job. So what happened? It seemed like automation didn't eliminate jobs. It created new opportunities. Digital art emerged, blending with traditional art to form new mediums. Artists adapted, using tools like Photoshop to enhance their work rather than replace it. New marketplaces and revenue streams appeared as licensing became a thing. It provided new additional income opportunities that people hadn't seen before. It led to a huge boom of digital art. New jobs were being created every second. I'm exaggerating there, probably not every second, but you get what I'm saying. There was more demand for art more than ever. Do you guys remember DeviantArt? As the artist industry grew, so did the tools. Automation became more and more, and new jobs emerged, also replacing older ones. People had to adapt. Now, AI seems way scarier, especially with news outlets reporting that we're gonna lose our jobs every second, with the media telling us how threatened we are. It's no wonder everyone is pooping their pants. Not only that, people are being laid off left and right. The economy is not doing so good. But is that actually because of AI? Also, we have seen AI do crazy stuff, from rendering full-on videos to full images, illustrations. It seems really like something that could replace artists. But hold up, horsey. While there are reports of job losses, the reality is much more nuanced. Our research done by Tech.co is giving us some surprising results. Which jobs is AI replacing? Some jobs seemed riper for replacement than others. However, our research actually found the opposite. With writing 63%, design 51%, and language 50%, representing the tasks where AI tools have no impact on removing job roles. This is echoed according to U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. At least 200,000 creative jobs were added to corporate payrolls in 2023. Robert Half estimates that the employment rate for graphic designers and web designers was at a relatively low 2.6 and 2.9 respectively, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Research indicates that only 4% of jobs have actually been replaced by AI. Instead, AI is used predominantly to boost productivity rather than replace humans. So why might this be the case? Well, contrary to what the market wants you to believe, generative AI is actually quite sucky. It's not that good at the moment. It needs a lot of human output and lookover and babysitting. And companies inherently just don't fully trust AI. You can't 100% predict that the output from AI is going to be good. Sometimes the output is disastrous. The other factor is that skills that managers look for when hiring isn't really replaceable with AI at the moment. Managers are looking for communication, problem solving, time management as being top of the list for what is important when hiring an individual. And more importantly, the value of AI skills in the workplace hasn't taken off yet either. In fact, only 43% of respondents said that AI expertise was at least moderately important to the hiring decision, the lowest score across their research. These statistics might shock you, and also you might feel like they're wrong, and you would have a good reason to feel that way. The trends, the sensational news outlets, OpenAI is going to replace jobs. It's like every article you see is about how their AI is going to take over creative jobs or how powerful their tools are. So I get it. But remember, these marketing practices are good for OpenAI and generative AI companies. They want you to believe that their generative AI tools are so powerful that they're going to replace you. It looks good for their stocks, it looks good for their investors. But regardless of this, new technology do replace some jobs, but they also create new ones and new opportunities. And the creative industry especially has adapted so well over the years. Automation and tools is nothing new. They've been coming in and we've been having to shift in the way we work for the last decade. Same goes for me. I actually was a traditional animator. Can you believe it? I used to draw frame by frame with a pencil and paper, 24 frames per second. And then I shifted my job into doing rigging and scripting, and then eventually to VR, and then eventually to motion capture. Where I started, my discipline is completely different to what I'm doing now. I too, as an artist, adapted. I started off as an artist and then ended up being a developer. And because I had this traditional art background, I actually had a huge advantage over my peers because I understood what good art looked like. Knowing traditional art gave me a huge edge in this development space. So back to AI, creative industry. Should you go into being in this industry? By now, you can probably tell I have a more optimistic outlook and that I'm more team human. Historically speaking, people have always figured out how to adapt. New technology will always eliminate some jobs, especially with jobs that are mundane and repetitive. Automation has always replaced those. However, in many cases, it will support a worker in doing a better, more efficient job, lowering the cost of production. When products and services become more affordable, demand generally increases. When demand increases, production increases and gives more rise to the industry. You can see this with the boom of the indie development space. Now more than ever, you don't need corporate backing to create your own vision. With all these automated tools, you yourself can create what you want with just your PC at home, with your laptop. It's amazing. There are more indie developed games out than ever before and more money pouring into them. And consumer trends are also trending towards individuals creating content rather than corporation. There's a huge power dynamic shift and I'm living it. Look at Twitch, look at TikTok, look at YouTube. Look at individual indie development houses popping up with animation and VFX and games. Consumers have been shown to love supporting individuals. Creative industry is now being defined by individuals. So the question of should you still go into the space even with AI, I would say it's a resounding yes, you should. Not all AI tools are the yucky generative AI. It's getting easier and more automated now than ever. With more tools to help you bring out your vision, 100% go into the creative industry. It is worth it. It is still a very viable job market with a lot of small businesses popping up as well.